We did get a question emailed into us, though. What provisions are being made to handle potentially long lines on election day, and how long are waits for the voting booths? How are they going to be handled for people who are going to be stuck in line there?
And to try to paraphrase, what are you going to, what are the backup plans if lines on election day, like they were at Colorado College 4 years ago, 4 or 5 hours long, what will be done to help reduce the length of time people are at different polling places?
Well, I mean, you can only process one voter at a time. We have paper poll books. We don't have electronic poll books. We don't have vote centers in this county. We have polling place elections. So if people choose to go to their polling location on election day, the potential is very high that yes, they will be waiting in line, and we can process one voter at a time. We have to ensure that that person is listed in the poll book. We have to ensure that that person is being given the ballot that is intended for that person. What I would encourage people to do, as we have been doing for a month or more, is come into one of our early voting locations and vote prior to election day, or request a mail-in ballot. The lines are going to be long, as they are historically in a November election, and even more so in a presidential election. The unfortunate thing is,
the real question here is whether your office is both competent and trustworthy. Now, this is not a far-fetched question because of three things. What has become a long series of controversial and even questionable actions, decisions, and public statements by your curiously non-intending loss. The anecdotes reported in The Independent recently regarding issues regarding people's registration and voting, including my wife's situation. And thirdly, the large amount of mistrust that is resident in the community. It is based even here about people attending. Now, Liz, please, can you tell me, what are the lines that are drawn between your office and your staff and your boss, and how are you going to make sure that there is actually going to be a nonpartisan accounting of this election?
Mail-in ballots rejected, or not received a mail-in ballot. And that just concerns me because of all the people that I registered who have never voted before, and I don't know them, and I can't follow up with them. So I just wanted to say that that's my concern.
Is that he criticizes Hoffman as Secretary of State as being the guy supervising the ballots while actually running for re-election. Now, it's my understanding that the Secretary of State is an elected official. So anytime that official, as an incumbent, runs for re-election, does that mean that there's an election crisis? So my question for Liz would be, do you feel there's an election crisis, and should the governor step in and make this argument?
John, Ms. Olson, someone is just zapped in here asking, was that student eligibility thing ever solved?
Was that student, I assume it's Colorado College.
Yeah.
What's the, tell us a little bit of the history of what happened there, and is it finally, clarify what the final results are about Colorado College students being able to register and vote in Colorado?
absolutely. What happened towards the end of September is we were told, we meaning myself and the clerk, were provided some information in that a document that we sent to Colorado College back in March may not have had complete information or incorrect information. And unfortunately, we found that to be true and that it didn't have complete information. So we put out a media release. I talked with the media and have addressed those issues. I think the most important piece of that whole situation is that what I've said time and time again, and I'll say it as many times as I need to, until everybody clearly understands our situation, is that it is not the responsibility of our office to tell somebody, or to not accept, I guess, a voter registration form. If somebody chooses to register to vote in our office, that's fantastic. We're going to process that form, and we don't question it. So anybody is afforded the opportunity to fill out a voter registration form and submit that form to our office, and we will have that person registered. The additional thing is that when we talk with the press and recognize that the information was not complete on our part, that was well in advance of the last day to register to vote. People, everybody, not just college students, but anybody and everyone had ample time to submit a voter registration form to our office. And I can tell you absolutely that any form that was turned into our office, that person was registered to vote. That's our responsibility, and that's